getting a bit quiet now. Still got plenty of work, don't worry about that. But I've got one now with an air mass issue. I've kind of already diagnosed it really. Seems to be an issue with the DISA valves. So we'll have a look now and see if we can sort it out. I'm busy this morning, I've got a lot of stuff in. Everything's frosted up now, but we'll see. It's an unfortunate reality of the weather situation. Right, anyway, let's do something now. I'll show you the symptoms anyway. It's basically got air mass fault because one of the DISA valves, well, one doesn't work, the inner one. I've already changed that the other day. And the other one is just falling apart, and it's like the pins fell out. It's a common fault. And it's actually running better now with just the inner DISA valve working. But the outer one not working, what's actually happened with that is it causes the air mass to become erratic, and I've actually recorded it a couple of days ago with the Think tool. So I'm going to play that right now, and you can see just how erratic the air mass actually is, or was. Now it seems to be 100 times better because it was horrendous, the idle basically. This job basically had an air leak as well on the breather system, so that was one major issue with it. But you can see now, I'll put this Think tool on and I'll do a bit of running commentary for you. Well, the first thing that we noticed when the engine started outside was the air mass and the manifold pressure sort of mirroring each other, going up and down like a yo-yo merry-go-round, which isn't right. They should be basically two straight parallel lines, because really there's nothing that should affect the air mass. However, the DISA valves are playing up. They're going to start causing all sorts of issue with the incoming airflow and make it crazy turbulent. This is what we can see in this case. So that was a good idea of where we needed to go next, because ISTA told me to check the air mass meter, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why would I need to do that? Okay, in some senses possibly I would, but don't think that would affect the manifold pressure too much if the air mass meter was faulty. It's just an electrical measuring device. So let's go and look now at what it should look like when it isn't playing up. Here we are. This is what we are supposed to see. Two lovely, smooth, nice, clean parallel lines, more or less parallel, and sort of increasing quite smoothly in response to the RPM load, which you can see right here. And this was taken as a result of changing both the DISA valves. There was nothing else needed in terms of the mass airflow meter or anything else on the engine. The camshafts, the Valvetronic, the Vanos, everything was okay in that sense. So that is exactly what it's supposed to look like. And now I'll go through a bit of a procedure. Didn't show the inner DISA valve, unfortunately. I had no time really to video that. But I did video the outer DISA valve change, and obviously sort of erasing the fault codes after, just to show you really the live data was the main reason why I created this recording. There's plenty of videos on YouTube showing you how to change the DISA valves, although I do touch slightly on how to replace the inner DISA valve number 1, which we'll get to right now. Right, well, here's the old DISA valve. This is the one that the pin hasn't fell off, and it looks remarkably quite good condition. There's nothing wrong with it. But what actually happens with these is, because they're a stepper motor, you can't turn the shaft, they're always solid, because that's how stepper motors work. There's just a connection there, you can just see the electrical side. What happens with these is they just basically short out internally and they don't respond, and that's the issue really. And in this case I think that should be partially closed when the engine's at normal operation. So that one's goosed. I've already changed that one, so that's okay. So that job is now sorted, because it was a permanent fault code for a short. This is the one now that's fell apart. This is the new one, of course. This is the one we're now going to change in this little video. And as you saw from the previous video from the Think tool, the air mass was absolutely all over the place. Probably also, see, that doesn't turn either because it's a stepper motor, so you can't do it because that's how they work. This is earth and bus, this. It's a German one, so it should be good quality. Same 3-pin connector there, and that pin is what's fallen out of the other one. So the butterfly flap, if you want to call it that, is like half hanging off. So it's really going to play havoc with the airflow, and I presume that's why the Think tool showing such an erratic air mass value. So we're going to change that one now, and then this one's already done, so we're alright with that one. Chuck that in that box now because we don't need that, and I'll go through it with you. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you do the DISA valve is you're going to take the air box off,
undo this, which is already kind of undone from the other day, pull this to one side. DISA valve 1 is there, that's the outer one. It's held on with 4 Torx screws. The inner one, which I've already replaced, and this is the one that actually seemed to be causing most of the problems, is there. Now, the easiest way to do the inner one, I find, is obviously you have to basically take this off. There's 3 screws behind there, which I'll show you in a minute. Then all you do is you withdraw that one from the back. And then the best way to do that is to take the alternator off here, and I'll show you that in one sec. So let's get this air box off first. That's the most important thing, and then we can crack on. Right, so before we do this DISA valve, what we want to do is we want to pull this off. I've actually already loosened it because I've been working on this the other day. So that's quite easy. We just pull that rubber bell off. Yeah, that's wire up. Bit of a faff this, but never mind. I also made a new pipe for the brake vacuum system here, because unfortunately it was faulty. And then what we need to do is pull the old reservoir off, because it just makes it easier to get to the DISA valve. There's lots of tutorials on how to change the DISA valve. This video isn't for that, it's just to show you how it affects the air mass. It seems, in my opinion, now the inner one that was faulty was affecting the air mass rather than the outer one. Just tuck this down under the brake booster pipe, and I'll switch positions of the camera so you can see the front nice and easy. Make sure when you tilt these you don't tilt them down too much or they start leaking from the cap. Right, so we'll probably leave that there, maybe get a bungee cord on that, I think. Get a bungee cord on this, otherwise if you keep it upright it won't leak, if you tip it it'll leak. So it's a bit of a good tip for you there. So we'll just bungee cord it nice out the way, and everyone's happy. Right, good. So let's change camera positions now. Right, let's change this valve over now. Right, straightforward, should be able. Just 3 screws holding in, nothing major. 1. Second one is here, that's it. Oh, let's see, there's 4 screws holding this one, 3 on the inner one. Right, I've actually took a few screws out last week, so I didn't put all the screws back in. This is, you'll see straight away the issue with this one. There we go, you can see it rattling about already. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just pull this throttle elbow off actually. Because it's going to be a problem if I don't pull that throttle elbow off as well. It's a 6mm. Throttle elbow, forgot about that. Throttle elbow, we have to take that off just to get the valve out. That's easy enough. You can't get that wrong either because it has a special one-way fitting, a little slot where it locks in a 12 o'clock position. Okie dokie, so throttle elbow off. There we go, there's your position, what locks it in. And now that should slide straight out dead easy. There we are. That's it. So there, that's the issue with that. Essentially, it's just completely flopping around like Billy Hot. It's broken completely. Motor works, of course, but look, it can't do anything. But the most disturbing thing is we don't know where the end is. The end has fallen off, so that's a bit of an issue. Right, let's get the new one in. But before that, I'll show you where the screws are for the inner vanos, just in case you...
Well, I think I've been drinking again. I said vanos, but actually I meant DISA. So, let's get back to the video.
Just in case you ever do one yourselves, and that way you're a bit more au fait with it. So we'll put our new valve in now. I can only go in one way, so don't worry about that. There's a bit of a metal bracket there. And yeah, that's all in. Just in case now of bolting it up, building the rest up. Checking it. So when you open this, you'll really cause the air mass to go all over the place. See the old return spring. You hear that? You know you've got a good breather, eh? You see the eccentric shaft moving there, actually. Eccentric shaft moving and there's a return spring. We'll close that off anyway. But if it stabilises now, you're laughing. There you are, it's stabilised. We've actually changed the breather on this engine, so. Right then, we need to roll test it and recheck that the oxygen sensor switching because the fuel trim was out because of these DISA valve 2 and DISA valve 1 being faulty. So yeah, it's pretty much ready to go now. Quite pleased with that. Yeah, just check everything's tight. Yeah, so we road test it and it should be done.
So there you are. Nice to see with a bit of live data. They're basically simple and known for the last 20 odd years. But it's always nice to use live data. If you have no experience of DISA valves, then you need to use live data because if you don't know the system, you need to use deductive reasoning. And I think that was a good example of deductive reasoning. Only one conclusion is to beware guided test plans telling you to check air mass meters when we all know they've got 2 variable induction or variable length runners or artificial variable length runners with the 2 DISA systems. And when they're in the wrong position, the airflow is going to change compared to the map values what's stored in the DME and the ECU. So if you like my content, please subscribe. Gotta let this channel grow and grow and grow. It's growing, but I need this to grow faster and bigger, which will be really cool because then more people can get help fixing BMWs from a guy with 30 years experience fixing things like that. Until next time, thanks for watching.